I call the Finance Committee meeting of November 13th to order at 5 o'clock. Please note that this meeting is in person and it's being recorded. And please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So, Gary already has the budget calendar.
Yes. So, thank you, Madam Chair. And
Pass it on.
the first item, I don't know if you wanted to introduce a new member of the...
I think she knows everybody, but to the massive listening audience that we have a new member here on the Finance Committee, Deirdre Farrell Welch. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
And I'm excited personally because we actually now have 9 members.
Wonderful.
Though some of them aren't here tonight. I was looking forward to having a full house, but I understand people's schedules. But anyway, welcome.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet everyone.
Nice to meet
Thank
you.
Gary.
Okay, so as we start the FY27 budget process, I put out the budget calendar every year, and this kind of gets us on the path of where we should be as far as timeline is concerned. We're actually starting a month earlier than we did last year. Every one of these dates last year, and we still had time at the end, if you remember, the committee, we had time to still talk about the rationales and the letter that went out to town meeting members. So this gives us, my hope is at the end of the process to do that and maybe more. Because remember, in this process here, which is not up on the screen and in the calendar you have, we also have to incorporate the Budget Advisory Group somewhere in here. So this is the Finance Committee's budget calendar, but at some point in time, we're gonna have to engage with them to talk about where we are in the budget process and what we think, or the committee thinks is gonna get proposed to town meeting. So I would envision that's probably gonna be the February timeframe in this calendar, but members have been picked on that committee, so that's all set up, ready to go. So I'll go through it quickly. November 20th, I will send out the memo and CIPC memo to department heads. I did meet with the chair of the CIPC, mentioned to him that this year we should be broadcasting those meetings, also having the minutes documented so that they can be reviewed online. We're gonna, he agreed to that. We'll start that process when we meet with him. December 2nd, I'll be sending the December 26th, excuse me, the budget requests and CPC requests will be due back to my office, so we can start keying those in.
CPC, is that the capital?
Capital Improvement Planning Committee.
Thank you very much.
CIPC, yes. Yep. And then January 5th to 6th to the January 16th, 2026, we'll have the one-on-ones in my office as we've done in the past. We'll invite Finance Committee members to go. I have a schedule for that already. So once those budgets are keyed in to Munis, we'll have that set up. So that's the 5th through the 16th of January.
Good.
February 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th, CIPC will be meeting to go over the departmental requests with the departments, schools, DPW, parks, so on. February 5th through the 26th, Finance Committee will review the budget forms. That's the one forms that we have to go over, and any information that's needed, we can invite departments in at that time to review their budgets. And then February 27th, warrant articles are due to the town clerk. March 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th, the bigger departments will be able to come in to the FinCom, schools, DPW, and police. We usually have separate meetings for them, one night for each one of those, because they're larger departments. And then April 3rd, the draft budget to the committee for review. And April 9th, 16th, 23rd, Finance Committee warrant rationales and the budget message. So as you can see, we're still quite a ways away from town meeting, but I think we need that gap just to potentially, get all the information ready for town meeting and so on and so forth. But between February and May, we would engage with the Budget Advisory Group to discuss findings and have them maybe make recommendations to the finance committee and the select board. So that'll be fit in between one of these, seeing how the progress is made, once we get to that point.
What did you change from last year, not specifically so much, but as far as the deadlines? I mean, are you sending out the budget memo earlier?
So the budget memo went out earlier, and the request back from the departments was actually in January, at the end of January.
Oh, okay, a
So
whole
this is a
month.
little bit, yeah, this is a little bit more aggressive. But I think that, what I don't, and I think last year was a pretty good test of this. We had those, the one forms that the departments filled out. I thought that they did a pretty good job on that. They did a better job than they did in '25. There was still some departments that were, needed some work, but this gives us room at the end to, and maybe in the middle, to invite Budget Advisory Group, for recommendations. And I think that, the earlier we can start this, the better.
Yes,
in my
of course.
opinion.
John?
Gary, we're using the same format. We're requesting the budgets on our new format.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
not changing.
No,
These dates are hard dates, so we can put in our calendars those February dates that we're meeting.
yes,
And so that's February 4, 11, 18, and 25, and, no, 26.
No, it's the.
I'm sorry,
it's the
5,
one
12,
after that,
29,
5,
yep, I
12.
got it. And then April 3rd is a
April,
meeting
yes.
for us, we're gonna review, am I correct?
correct, yeah. And let me just go to the calendar.
And then the
real quick.
9th, 16th, and 23rd, so, okay.
Yeah, let me just go.
February date,
All right,
that's
so-
gonna be the 19th, right? Not the 29th.
For 5,
Right,
12,
there is a typo on there.
19,
19
26.
and 26, yeah.
Where's the typo?
It's on
Oh,
there.
Yeah, I'll change that to
26,
the
yeah,
Where
19th.
it says,
All the Thursdays.
Yep. Right, yep.
So we're gonna start our meetings when, February?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we probably will have to meet before that, because this, we've got a lot going on with other items that the committee's requested. And we'll go through some of those in the
all right,
agenda here, so,
okay.
Yeah, but
as
this
far
is
as
something I
budget-
can
Right,
at
right,
least.
those are hard dates
yeah,
that
you
we
can
get
definitely
in.
need
Put
to
them in
be
your
here.
calendar.
All right.
Yeah.
Try to reserve
Okay,
those
good.
dates.
All
Yep.
right, good.
Yep.
All right, that's excellent.
So, does anybody have any questions on the calendar?
So I like to know the date, I know I'm asking way ahead, that the town clerk has the hard date for getting her information from us.
Okay, so usually the articles are due way before the budget's due.
Right.
I can get that date from the clerk. Usually it's a
You know,
good
for our
solid
letter, if we're going to go
3
through this,
weeks prior to her
if we're
printing.
going to go through the same process that we've done the last couple of years where we mail our own letter,
Uh-huh.
it'd be good to understand exactly when we need to have the letter done so we can,
Yeah. Historically, it's been a good
Yeah.
3 weeks prior to her even mailing out the documents to town meeting members.
Right, I
But I can
realize she
confirm
has
with her the drop dead date to when we get that information to her.
yeah, yeah.
Good.
Email the group.
Deirdre, for your knowledge, I mean, yes, there's a packet that goes out to town meeting members, and years past, we were all in one packet together, where the finance committee wrote a letter to town meeting, and it was in that packet. But we made a decision, maybe 2 years ago, to have the letter be separate. So if you've ever been to a town meeting, you understand, sometimes the packets aren't opened quickly. Am I saying that nicely? Sometimes they open them as they're coming in. This way, if our letter was separate, it gave it more emphasis. So ideally, they're opening it and reading it before they get the packet from town meeting.
And how many town meeting members are there in full?
200
Do something,
It's
yeah.
almost 300,
Yeah.
just
It
under
is,
300.
but
I
full,
think.
that's if it's full, but I know we're
Yeah.
not
Well,
full.
we,
Thank you.
yeah.
We get
We always have
180
a
maybe
quorum,
at town meeting. I wrote it down.
We always have a quorum anyway.
Thank you.
Well, we can't have the meeting unless we have a quorum,
Right,
but
yeah.
usually at the town meetings,
Right.
sometimes it runs a little late getting the quorum, but anyway, we just want our letter to have more of an emphasis, so it's opened and it just goes to town meeting members.
Thank you.
So I'll get that, the drop dead date and I'll mail that out to everybody so that we
Yeah, it's
know.
just good to know, because, that letter is not an easy task.
No, it's not.
There's a lot of information that, we put a lot of graphs and such in it, so
Wonderful.
takes a lot of work. Okay, excellent. Just see if I have any
And that is
questions.
all I have for that.
All
All
right.
right, that's that one.
Okay. Aside for now. Finance Committee Handbook.
Yes.
Gary, you want me, can I have the plug? Because it reaches over here.
Oh, yeah.
I need to plug that into. Oh, good, it's grown. It's gotten
You're
longer.
gonna edit, you're gonna...
Yeah, I don't want you to have to edit, Gary. I'm not that cruel.
I think you've had a problem. Is that oh, that's a Mac. I thought there was a problem last time.
There
when
was
we
a
did that.
problem with the Macs.
Yeah, that's
Though
right.
Carrie got hers to work last time, but
Oh,
this
she
should
had it.
work.
Signal.
You got
You
the
got
little
the- you got
remote to
the,
switch through the
Yeah,
HDMI things, though Gary's just on, he was on a
Let's
PC.
see.
Oh,
It's
Oh,
changing,
yeah.
it's changing on its own.
oh, it changes by itself, okay. Yay.
Oh, sorry, wrong.
Why does it say off? Doesn't like my thing.
You want me to give you this laptop, Ginny, if you want? You
Why
use this
would-
laptop.
It should work.
And
that
just
should
edit-
work,
edit it
that
from,
should be, that should be in sync with the screen.
I only say that it should work because I've used this room for other purposes and used my laptop. Hence the reason I'm so familiar with this screen. Oh, you know what? Let me try this. Let me try a different toy. Can you try just
Yep.
switching that again, Gary, please? Or try two. I don't remember what I used. HDMI 2.
I think it automatically, it'll automatically, pick up the signal.
Yeah, I wonder why it's not.
You can use the laptop if you want. I mean, it's right up on the screen here if you want.
I might. I'm just gonna try a different plug. So many plugs. Because I know I've configured it to this, okay.
Is your laptop
Yeah, no, it's not.
recognizing the connection, Gene?
It's not picking up a signal, so.
Yeah, it's not.
It's funny, because I've used it, as I said before. Interesting.
If you want to edit it on this and then send me the, and then we can just save it.
I certainly want to be able to display and edit
Yeah.
it, because otherwise it's gonna be crazy. I don't need that. Keep that aside. Gary. Oh, this negative look. What is this? Oh, yeah, thank you, please. I don't need to be tortured any more than possible here. Let's make it bigger.
That's a right-handed mouse. You're a lefty, right?
No, I use the mouse with the right hand.
Oh, you do?
I am a left-handed, yes, I do. I'm
They're
I am-
ask for a left-handed hammer.
ambidextrous. I am ambidextrous. Let that be known to everyone in the world, yes. I
Left-handed hammer.
only write with my left hand. Okay, good. I think everybody can read it. So you all got a copy, correct, of the handbook that Terry's been working on this project. I just want to give her the credit because she put a lot of effort into the handbook draft. Now, it's not meant to replace the official Finance Committee handbook that comes from the Association of Town Finance Committee Members. Did I get that acronym right? That's 167 pages
Right,
of
yeah.
awesome information, and I'm sure, because we have a new copy, by the way. Terry and I went to that meeting in October, and a new copy was put out that was updated in October. It's now on our webpage, and I believe Gary sent it out to everyone as well. So you should all be reading 167 new pages of information, so you get all that. This is intended specifically for the Dartmouth Finance Committee, for just sort of our operating procedures. Not going to be 167 pages.
If I may, we did have something presented to us last, I think, spring.
Correct.
Okay. I haven't compared the two of them, but there was only one discrepancy about attendance as far as the meetings go. On page 8, one says 75 and one says 85%.
Well, was issued by the town of Dartmouth and Cody and his group specifically for elected members and town employees and everyone but the finance committee, because we are appointed separately.
Okay.
It's not to say that it's not information that we shouldn't abide by. I'm just saying that handbook was specific to other people in town.
Yeah, I was just that was one discrepancy. I didn't see too many others besides that. It's the only discrepancy that I found.
In that,
Yeah, that's correct.
okay,
One was 85, one was 75.
okay. I would probably take that up with, who's the master of this, Cody?
On the attendance issue?
No, on the actual handbook.
I think it was Chris.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was Chris, but we can follow up with.
We got this, remember that meeting we had with
Right.
Melissa?
Oh, we went to the
We got from
meeting,
that.
but
Yeah. We got this from her, and then we have another, again, the 167-page version we have here.
Well, the 167-page version is from the
Association
MMA
of
and the
town.
association.
Okay.
That's our mantra.
All right, so that's the Bible, if
Yes,
you will, okay?
yes, absolutely. That's for everybody in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's it.
oh, no, it's official.
All right, I'm just saying there's differences. Okay, that's fine.
No,
Jimmy,
and
as
so
long as I know.
this is not going to be anywhere near that. I think right now it's 4 pages.
It is.
If that, maybe 5 when we're done adding, components to it, but specifically to how we, as a committee in Dartmouth, operate. It's not going to have, we're not going to try to be repetitive of other information that's available. We're certainly not trying to condense the 167-page document. And we're not trying to compete, whatever, with the document for the town employees and elected folks. This is specifically for us. And I think if you read through the draft, you might realize that it is specific to us. When we meet, what our roles are, that type of thing. That was the intent when it was first initiated. So, as anybody knows, when I get my hands on a written document, I immediately start editing. But I added to it more than anything else. So the first couple paragraphs, I added to it because I feel like a document should have an introduction. And once again, this is for everybody. Just because I put it there doesn't make it so. I need your input on this, and obviously Terry is going to continue to work on this document as well. And I sent her this copy already so she could see just what my notes were at this point. So I figured that it was good to have some sort of introduction that said, this handbook is intended as a guide for Dartmouth Finance Committee members. It includes brief descriptions of meeting procedures, roles, and important state statutes that govern the conduct of committee meetings and should prove useful to both new and current members.
As someone who, do I raise my hand? I'm sorry.
It's okay, please.
As someone who moved in 4 years ago, but has a 20-year background in municipal, school, regional, this is so important to target exactly how the governing structure of Dartmouth is. Because it can be quite different, municipality to municipality, and that 167 pages has to cover everything, so you can kind of look to see how it applies to you. So when I saw this, it was very, very helpful to me to get my numbers and organizational structure. So I really appreciate the information and the time it took to put together.
Good. Anybody have anything in regards to the introduction section that they feel should be different or added? All right. So the other paragraph that I added before we get to the content that Terry started with, was the application procedure. Like I'm sure Terry did as well, I looked at a lot of other handbooks that folks have. Some were specific to finance committees, not discounting the official one for the state, and some were specific to sort of town members. But I think it's important, if someone were to look at this document, to understand how they would apply for an open committee position. We don't tend to do anything about it until we have an opening. If somebody's poking around and looking at the finance committee, here's a document that explains that, anyone can apply for membership for an open committee position. And this is what you do. We know that the town moderator is the appointing authority. Residents who are interested in being considered should submit a letter of interest and resume to the town moderator, and I'm going to insert the email address here that's appropriate. The appointing authority shall have sole discretion to make such appointments or other changes as the appointing authority deems to be in best interest of the town. Applicants are encouraged to attend one or more finance committee meetings or watch meeting recordings on the Dartmouth Community Media YouTube channel, there's a link, to become familiar with the time commitment and other functions of the committee.
Right.
Yes,
Can I suggest we eliminate the word open? Because if someone's interested, they're going to the town website.
okay, yeah,
Why
that's valid.
shouldn't they be able to apply? We are
they can apply
appointed on a
anytime they
3-year
want to.
basis.
Yeah.
We're not guaranteed we're gonna get reappointed,
True,
so why not? Why shouldn't Melissa have a backlog of people who may be interested in serving, that she may wanna replace one of us?
Yeah.
Or there's already somebody in line when an open seat
Yeah.
comes up, and so I think we should eliminate open.
Done.
Somebody should
Gone.
apply at any time.
Good.
no, that's a good suggestion.
The only other thing I would add is after the appointing authority shall have sole discretion, I would just say has sole discretion, because like we're not dictating, what
Yeah.
authority she has. We're just stating what our town charter says,
Okay. Okay, that's good. Can mull that over. Obviously, it's not necessary. This is not the final copy by any means. Then we get into the other part that you've already seen, and I added some things. So there's a section for roles and responsibilities of Finance Committee. There's a paragraph, general participation expectations. So you can see the color coding. So anything that's, it's sort of a dirty yellow, is my comments. Anything that's green was pointed out as something that should be discussed for sure. So Finance Committee members are expected to maintain at least 85% attendance consistent with other appointed committees. So I know that that's was questioned by some people. So I'll explain why it was put in there, and then we can decide if we want it to be that way or if we want it to be something different. So this was the figure that's used by the Select Board, I believe, in the document that Bill used for committees that they appoint. That's their expectation for appointed committees. So it's in that document, that handbook. And it was also brought up when we had the town moderator at our meeting in the summer. She mentioned what her expectations were for attendance. So that's the reason why that says 85% attendance. I understand the concern about who's taking attendance, who's checking on us, that kind of concern. Does anybody have, and yes, it is a concern that people attend, obviously, on a regular basis. But do you have a different way that you would consider wording it, or does that not concern you? Thoughts? John?
I thought the number for other committees, not that we can't be 85, was 75%.
It is.
It is.
It is.
Okay,
But we stay consistent with other plans. That's not consistent.
okay, if that's true,
Yeah. Others are 75.
Well, are we happy with it being 75?
Well, may I ask a
Yes.
question, if I may? I mean, interrupt you, John. How many meetings, Gary, do we actually have a year, would say?
Cost of the year?
Yeah.
Well, more obviously during budget season, but we've, over the last year or two, we've had more meetings, I think, than the past years, you know, looking at that. So I would say probably 20 plus.
Oh, more, probably more than
No,
that.
I'd
30?
have to count, I honestly don't know.
Yeah, if you're looking at calendar year, probably over 20,
I would say
25,
probably
30
around-
meetings.
I would say probably over 30.
Yeah.
I would
meetings.
say, because we usually have, what, maybe a couple months off or something?
Yeah, and then we're meeting January
Yeah,
through,
I think we meet
town
at least
meeting.
9 months out of a year, and then with 4 times within that. I say probably somewhere in the 30s, we probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we made an effort this year to have a couple during the summer months where we might normally not
Right.
have any.
yeah, so I think.
Because we
yeah,
have
no,
things we wanted to discuss or some projects that we were working on.
At least 30, I would say at least
Okay.
30.
All right.
So this isn't a mandate, and because it's not a mandate, I think we should be consistent with other appointed boards and say
If it's 75, that's,
75.
as long as we agree on to say something.
75%. I just, and I know this because I just got reappointed to the CPC this year by the select board, and they held off my appointing because it was submitted that I had missed more than 25%
Oh, okay.
of the meetings, and I was like, whoa, no, I'm retired, I do a bit of travel, and I'm like, yeah, I know I missed some meetings, but there's no way, you know? So I went back and did my own homework, and sure enough, I wasn't, well, the person doing the math only looked back 1 year. It's a 3-year appointment,
Okay,
you know, so I was getting, you know, I had a 3-year appointment, I was looking to get another 3-year appointment, and they only went back a year, and I, you know.
So the average was higher.
The chair had already told the selectmen, listen, I don't care what is, you know, I want him on my board, he's
Okay.
important to be on the board. But it was important to me to clear my name and say, no,
Yes,
that was an
yes, of
inaccurate
course.
statement.
Yes.
You know, I wasn't absent 25% of the time this last year, that's, you know.
Right.
I mean, this year I was, but not for the entire 3 years, so. That's why I know that 75%, because I had just looked it up not long ago.
that's right, your public reputation was being slandered, John, oh my goodness, I'm surprised I didn't see that in a headline somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been years ago, they had real reporters, and I wouldn't have minded, you know.
Dartmouth Chronicle.
I personally think I think staying consistent with what other expectations of
If
other
it's
committees is
75,
fine.
that's
So
I
fine.
agree.
70, I'm
75.
personally fine with
I mean, as you know, we
75%.
don't take a, I mean, there is an attendance of sorts, because it's obviously in all the minutes. It's in all the minutes who went to every
Yeah.
meeting. And while I'm certainly not looking at it, I can't speak for others who may be looking at
Sure.
it. So I think it should say something.
No, I agree.
From my perspective, when I was interviewed by the town moderator, it was helpful to have that discussion. Her question to me was, here is the expectation, here is the town of here's how often you are meeting, here's the discussion that we want to have about attendance. And it was very helpful for me to know about that, and helpful for me to express, I'm a secondary caregiver for my mom, it's my priority, but finance committee attendance is obviously very important as well. So at least the statement is there, and I think that the expectation is important for a finance committee. With 30 meetings or 30-plus meetings, it's going to be, it's hard during budget season in particular, and I'm not sure how many other committees or meetings meet that often, except for, you know, obviously the board and other things. So it was helpful to me to understand the expectation.
Well, it's important for us, especially when we have to vote, because we have to have a quorum.
Yes.
And I get that people have schedules that come and go, and people, of course, take vacations and such.
Yeah, well, that's
But in
what I'm
general,
going
now,
for,
and in the
rapid move.
past, we've had members who literally disappeared.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
now people are pretty good.
Right, and also the fact that we're gonna have 9 people on the
Right.
committee.
Right.
We've been kind of stretched, you know, for
We
a
were
long
stretched
period
for a
of time.
while there because we were
Didn't
we
have
were
enough
low, for
people.
sure. I mean, we've had,
Well, it was important everybody
We had
showed
9
up.
when I joined.
To Janine's point, that we had a quorum.
especially when we have to vote, because we're really not supposed to.
Right,
All right, so 75, is that what we agree on?
sure.
Oops. consistent with, occasional absences are permitted.
Melissa's gonna view this document.
She
before-
has seen the
Draft.
first draft before this. So the draft that you all saw is what Melissa saw, because I know that Terry copied her. And as we go forward, obviously, she'll be
Right, I mean,
included.
that's a policy decision that she should be making, I mean, that's.
Correct,
always-
that's what I thought, and I
Yeah.
did have a quick chat with Terry earlier in the day about that, because I knew it was a controversy. But she wanted to see what everybody else had to say, because I said, it didn't bother me. I mean, I do think there's an attendance expectation.
Sure.
It's not set by me, but, if it's 75 for the rest of the town, then yeah, it should be consistent with that. That's, good. Anyway, I added the sentences after that says the chairperson and this is a question of mine, actually. So I think at least 2 people should be notified as soon as possible if members are unable to attend. So it's either myself and the vice chair, or myself and the director of budget and finance. That way, the knowledge is in 2 people's hands. And I used my example, unfortunately, of the one time I took a vacation out of the country, and someone here sent me a text.
That'd be me, probably.
Which,
I missed you,
first of
Janine,
all, there
so
was
what?
there was a 6-hour time difference.
Well, you never
and
told
the
me.
intermittent
John,
use of
to
my phone.
defense, you and John never told me you were traveling.
I know, I'm
You never
sorry.
came by my house and said you and John be away,
Apologize.
so.
I apologize. I don't usually announce those things on TV.
We need to get them.
But anyway, it's a good habit, I think, to have it so at least 2 people understand who's coming to the meeting. So here's my question. Should it be chair and vice chair? Should it be chair and poor Gary?
No, I mean, I don't mind getting notified, because I'll then send a
Because we don't
notice to
have a
everyone.
meeting without you.
Well, I mean, I'd send notice to everybody that
Correct.
so-and-so's not gonna be able to be here.
Right.
But also emergencies come up last minute, so
Okay.
there's things that are beyond, everyone's control.
Yeah, no, of course. I just said, that's why I said as soon as possible. Let's, I
Yeah.
get the, And I just said a quorum of the committee is 5 members, must be present in order to conduct business and vote. And I realize that's more for somebody who's new. Most of us know that by now.
Does it say it's a 9-member committee up top?
That's a
I
good point,
believe it
though.
does.
Let's see, that's a good point. So where should that be?
This handbook is for the 9 members that constitute the Dartmouth Finance Committee, or the, or just right after where it
I
says
think
Dartmouth
that-
Finance Committee members, and insert 9, the number 9 in
But this,
parentheses?
this document's gonna live on the website, right?
Correct.
Which shows the 9 members. of
It
the
does,
committee.
yeah, no, it's,
I
yeah.
don't think we.
Okay,
want to
that's
stay
fine.
in
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a good point,
it.
though.
And this is a living document anyway, so.
Right,
it's,
and
you
we're
know,
not
it's gonna change.
solving it all tonight anyway.
Right, hope not, Janine.
It's more of a work in progress for sure.
Right.
Back to this. So my question was, because I know, state law has made it so you can have remote attendance via Zoom. It was a kind of a legal question, actually, for me. So I know we could do that now. And I know that from talking to Dartmouth TV, they can do it pretty quickly, to have, somebody who wants to be on the meeting but come in via Zoom. But I think, and I don't know if you know this or not, Gary, that you still have to have a quorum in the room.
Ooh,
I believe so, yes, you're correct.
I know the person leading the meeting has to be in the room. So it doesn't necessarily have to be me, but it has to be, an appointed person has to be leading the meeting, has to be present. They can't be
Yes,
on the
and I
Zoom
also
leading the
believe that
meeting.
when votes are being taken, they're taken by,
Right, roll call.
roll call.
Right.
Right.
So my question was then, that should be included in there, that, because I think that's going to stay in play now for,
Yeah, I think the date was extended, I'm not sure, 2020,
right, but I think they're trying to make it permanent.
yeah, there's been.
Once
there's been
again,
talk
living
about-
document.
Yeah,
Is that gonna be for all committees? Because as you know, if you watch on TV, on Dartmouth Cable TV, different boards have Zoom meetings.
I know,
It'll be the option.
it's an option.
Yeah.
Personal
Just throwing
opinion,
this out there.
I'm not a fan of Zoom meetings, especially all the time. I get it, if an occasional member wants to join in, and I've seen it with the select board, they're still able to participate, but the majority is in the room. And that's
Yes.
fine, I get that.
I think for the purposes of this document, historically at least, we've met in person.
Yes,
So we could state that here,
right, no, and I think that's a
generally
paragraph
speaking,
to add.
we meet in person. If something comes up, I mean, we don't have to write down on our handbook that there's an option to do hybrid or remote, but.
Well, I just want
think-
people to understand they can,
Yeah.
with notice, but, go ahead.
I wonder if the board is interested in taking a poll of the finance committee whether we should allow Zoom.
Oh, allow it at all?
Well, let me throw
Because
out,
it's at our discretion whether we do
Of course,
or we don't. I'm not a fan of it
I'm not a
at
fan.
all. And I've been on
No.
both sides of the fence. I've seen it,
Right.
I've been, and what I like about in-person meetings that you can't get from Zoom is, I've served on boards for over 30
Ever.
years now,
Right.
and there's a lot with body language
yes,
that I can't see when
Mm-hmm.
someone's sitting at home. There's a lot with, a snickler here, a snickler there, that I can pick up that I can't get at home. And that's reading the room. You can't do that with Zoom. So for those reasons, I hate Zoom meetings. And I think in-person meetings are important just for that, for reading body language.
it would have to be
and
mandated by the state, as it was in 2020, when we did hold our finance committee meetings via Zoom, because it was a state thing.
Right, no, but we don't have to accept it now.
Do
It's
not.
at our discretion
Correct.
to allow it or not. That's why I'm just asking.
No,
do
no,
we
it's a
pull the
valid
board?
point, 'cause
And,
I'm like
There's
yourself.
two that are opposed to it, there are others that
I
would
just think
prefer-
it's only been, and Gary, maybe you remember differently, I know there's only been a couple people who asked to be remote, literally, I've been on the board for 5 years, so,
Yeah, and it's only because they were traveling or.
correct, but they
it wasn't a
wanted to be.
permanent- It wasn't a permanent option for the whole committee to be
Right,
Zoom.
not at all,
Yeah.
it was a single member that asked.
Whether, I think, everybody has their opinion on whether or not it functions in today's, fit for government, but.
Right.
The committee would have to decide in a whole whether or not they would want to go. But I think leaving it as an option
Mm-hmm.
on this also helps the fact that people travel, people are not always here.
And are still willing
To
to
join.
dial in
Yes, right.
if they can, kind of thing.
So how about
But
we
no, I would
write-
never want to have the meetings go back to being Zoom, as I
no,
said,
but there
unless,
should, but there should be an option. I think you guys are right on point.
but I wouldn't encourage people to do
No.
that.
But
So
we
how-
have a snow day or something like that, or God forbid something else happens, we can't hold the meeting, then.
Right.
You know?
So for the purposes of our handbook, how about we write, typically, the finance committee meets in person. However, there is, option for hybrid under certain circumstances.
Yeah, so, fine.
That way, someone who's, might be interested sees that and knows that, I don't have to cancel my vacation plans for every Thursday for the next.
And it should be something in there too with maybe some kind of notice, because that does have to be set up by DCTV.
Correct.
I mean, you can't really
Which
say
he's-
that day of, oh, by the way, I can't.
Going to
There should be
Bermuda.
some kind of
There are
notice.
committees in town now that are still meeting
Yep,
Yes.
via Zoom.
That's right.
And it's been so long that I think people would resign if they had to go back. Some of those people would resign if they had to go back to in-person. I would hate
You're right, Jim.
to have somebody join this committee thinking, oh, I don't need to attend those meetings, I can do a Zoom every week, or, every time we meet, because Zoom is allowed. So I don't know how,
Well, let
do
me
we
ask you
try to-
something, wouldn't, as we're vetting, or say Melissa's vetting these people, she can make the point that it is, we expect you to be there, however, if there are circumstances that you can't be there, it's an option, but you shouldn't be using Zoom as a vehicle to attend.
Yeah, and I
meetings.
suppose ultimately it's up to Melissa. I guess we're,
Yeah,
that's a
maybe-
question, I'll talk to her
You
about
can
it.
remove the word typically and put
I
the
was
finance
gonna say
committee
the
meets
same
in
exact
person.
thing. The finance
Yeah.
committee meets in person, boom.
On the rare, on the occasion where,
When necessary.
a Zoom connection is needed,
Available upon,
you can we can have that, we can set that up with,
Needs to be set up within a
Advance notice.
48-hour notice.
Yeah.
I may just change the wording slightly after, so don't get crazy on me, everybody. Thank you.
We'll hold back.
Typing on a keyboard that's completely different size than mine, so I'm like not doing well.
and the keys are worn out, most of them.
I know. So excuse me. Whatever. I will change that sentence. That's just gonna, that gives me the idea of
Yeah.
what to write. Don't make me type the whole thing. Okay, so now it's the breaking down of the roles of Finance Committee members. Chairperson sets the agenda, with the Director of Budget and Finance leads discussions, manages topic durations, and calls for motions and speakers. I just inserted, the chairperson has the same rights as other members to offer resolutions, make or second motions, discuss questions, and vote. And traditionally, the chairperson serves a 3-year term following nomination and election. Thoughts?
Traditionally, traditionally, the chairperson serves as chairperson for the 3-year term?
Yes,
So
In
there's a-
addition to be appointed as a member for 3 years, okay, thank you.
correct. That's what we've done
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly, specific to Dartmouth.
And the vice chair acts in the chairperson's absence and coordinates the writing of warrant recommendations, letter to town meeting, and other finance committee communications. Okay. So we don't have a elected, appointed secretary in our group. The Finance Committee employs a contracted secretary to review meeting recordings and prepare minutes. The draft minutes are reviewed by the chairperson and Director of Budget and Finance, then sent to committee members for a vote. The Director of Budget and Finance sets the vendors, and I'm not sure why that needs to be in there, that sentence, but, so it's a question. The Director of Budget and Finance sets the vendor's hourly
Why would
rate
we-
based on a predetermined scale.
we don't need that in there.
Yeah,
I don't
I wouldn't know.
Minutes, by the way, are very, very well done.
She's
I read
awesome.
them all back, way far away. But they're very, very well done. You can follow the math. You can follow, very well done.
We are very grateful to have a person
Yeah,
who writes those
seriously, yeah,
detailed
those are
minutes. It's
really
as
good.
if you were there in the meeting.
Those are really good.
So this is referencing the liaison role. So to facilitate effective interdepartmental communication, the Finance Committee has resolved that each member will serve as a liaison to one or more town boards or committees. My sentence I added, larger departments may have multiple liaisons. This role is not intended to represent the Finance Committee directly, but rather to identify matters that may warrant consideration by the committee and to advise the chairperson regarding the possible inclusion of such issues on future agendas. I added some detail. Liaisons are encouraged to attend meetings. However, when necessary, the liaison should access the missed meeting on the Dartmouth Community Media YouTube channel to understand what transpired at said meetings. Liaison should be prepared to provide reports at Finance Committee meetings.
I should say oral report. Or not?
Yeah, no.
Someone who's looking to be, oh, I gotta write a report, you know.
That will be 10 pages, single-spaced.
Good idea.
And I thought it might be good to have the liaison, once again, it's educational for others who don't know what we do, the liaison departments or committees list, but not have the assignments. So they understand it's school committee, police, Board of Health, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. And there was a section, working with select board and town departments. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I inserted at these joint meetings, because this is referencing joint meetings and the behavior. The chairperson will introduce committee members and recognize speakers. So there was a sentence in there. Members should contribute only new points and avoid sarcasm or personal comments. That was questioned. And I thought, here's an alternative. All those members who wish to speak and contribute new points to the discussion should be allowed to do so before anyone is invited to speak a second time.
Could we just say using proper decorum and eliminate the avoid sarcasm and
Well, I
personal
want to,
comment?
I'm
You wanted to
not
put
a
that
fan
in.
of that whole sentence that's
Neither am I.
in green. And then I said the substitute sentence is the one that follows. And just so you know, that substitute sentence, all those members who wish to speak and contribute, blah, 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 is based on Robert's Rules of Order.
So
Fine.
wouldn't it be better, I'm sorry, couldn't it, I like the proper decorum according to, proper decorum and Robert's Rules of Order are followed by the Finance Committee.
Does it say
Not everybody
Robert's
knows
rule?
what Robert's Rules of Order are,
No, but just, I think.
and it's
proper-
quite lengthy,
I'm
as
not
I'm
sure
sure
what the
you
problem
know.
is.
Yeah, for most of us do.
But it will be referenced later in this, but yes, it's a, you know it's a giant document on its own.
Thank you.
But that's, rather than have somebody who consumes the entire conversation, you know, everyone should be allowed to speak.
I do like
And
proper
I
decorum.
don't
though.
necessarily, by proper decorum is good, because I don't think sarcasm and personal comments is
That's not-
that
that's not it.
professional.
Exactly right. I don't either. Proper decorum or something like that is fine.
I think this is depending who's chairing the meeting. I mean, we're making points here that we have no control over, so that second highlighted green, all those members who wish to speak, contribute new points.
Well, this is meant
Should be allowed
for,
to do so.
this is meant for
That's-
us
I know
at
that,
a joint meeting.
but, people get passionate
I know.
and speak up.
Been
Yeah, we're all
recorded.
guilty of it. That's up to the chairperson to handle it,
Yeah.
to go into that kind of detail in a handbook, I don't think it's needed or appropriate. It's at the discretion of the chair whether they want somebody to hear from them a second time before someone else has spoken.
When it says at these joint meetings, the chairperson of the Board of Selectmen or the chairperson of the Finance Committee, or is it the chair, who runs the joint meeting? Who's the chairperson of the joint meeting?
It typically, if it's select board and finance committee, it's the select board.
Select board.
So,
runs the
so
meeting.
whoever the chair runs
So
the
no,
meeting.
in this
select-
case, it would
Right,
be,
so
Proper
if it-
decorum.
this would be the finance committee. This is referencing the finance committee chair. Typically, the
Right.
select board
the
open,
chair- the finance committee chair doesn't have any jurisdiction in a joint meeting.
they do over their finance committee
Members,
members.
that's correct. Yes, they do.
So who gives a
As,
person?
as
at a-
does the chair of the select board
yeah.
if someone is out of line.
You can be, John, you can be passionate
Yeah, you
and
can be.
still use proper decorum.
No, I get it, and, it's, I can't recall where it's ever been a problem, but I'm just, a real big problem, and it.
It's not big enough.
I'm not even gonna
I
go
mean,
into detail.
There was,
We'll tell you all about it someday.
yeah,
I'm just putting that in there so I can
Yeah, I
come
think-
up with a
I think
sentence.
As a committee, we would endeavor, and I think innately, we do that, endeavor to withhold proper decorum, and I think it's
We
fine
do.
just to say
I
that,
think it's,
you know,
It's an expectation.
yeah, I think it's,
I know what you're saying, and I know. I'm just trying to think, how do I word this?
I think,
It's a nod to situations where it hasn't happened.
right, so if you broad brush and say something like proper decorum, I think
Yeah,
that
that's all,
says
that's
it all.
why. And
Proper
I
decorum
get
is the
why,
expectation of
it
the
was put in
Finance
here.
Committee
Right,
members.
but it's there, we expect
the oath.
people to be, behaving themselves.
Isn't it part of our oath?
yeah.
Do you swear that you will carry out the duties to which you have been appointed impartially, faithfully, and to the best of your ability, so help you God?
Doesn't say anything
No,
about
it says nothing
decorum.
about being impartial or decorum.
That's God decided.
Talk anything about yelling. No mention of, tone of voice. All right. I'll come up with a new sentence.
All right,
Tone it down.
sure.
You collapse that, yeah.
Oops. All right, budget process. So this is a concern as well, which is why there's like 2 paragraphs here, because the second paragraph was submitted by someone else. It's really just wording, honestly. I couldn't see a major difference between the two. The Finance Committee meets twice annually with town meeting members. I inserted that. Once for the spring town meeting in June, and again in October, those are just my words, for the fall town meeting. The chairperson and director of budget and finance establish the beginning of each session, so that sentence was a little confusing to me. It just seems like it should be worded differently, but I understand what it's the point. Typically, starting in September for the fall meeting and in January for the spring meeting. Just don't like that. Establish the beginning of
I
each
don't
session.
know what it means.
Well, I think it's
I think it's
referencing our
budget
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 process.
process.
Chairperson, the director of budget and finance, establish the beginning of each session. What session?
Like the budget process.
Okay. Director of finance, establish the budget process.
Budget process, establish the
I
budget
mean,
process schedule.
we could almost say that we'll establish the budget calendar,
There you go.
Finance Committee's budget calendar for, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty self-clear, I mean, that's
Yeah,
really
that
clear.
makes more sense than this stuff.
That was the budget calendar,
Typically starting in September for the fall meeting and January for the spring meeting.
Yeah,
Nice.
Springtown meeting addresses the operating budget, including Schedule A, as well as capital budgets recommended by the Capital Improvement Committee. The fall town meeting primarily examines additional capital funding recommendations from the Capital Improvement Committee based on the certification of free cash. Meetings are generally held on Thursdays from 5 to 7 at the Dartmouth Town Hall.
Thank you. I was going to go to high
There
school.
was some confusion.
Put the room number in there too, by the way.
Well, that can change, of course, but yes, so I said town hall. If necessary, additional sessions may be scheduled commonly on Tuesdays, depending on the workload. So that was the, kind of the original paragraph that was there with a couple of words added.
And when you say Schedule A, is that the DOR Schedule A?
Schedule A is the budget that goes to town meeting.
You call your Dartmouth
Schedule A.
budget Schedule A?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I was going
So you see
DLS
in the
forms.
packet at town meeting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
So, okay, so because Deirdre asked that question, and this might be targeting for new members, should we have another word in there? Schedule A
Annual
budget?
budget, the annual
The spring
budget?
town meeting addresses the operating, where, at the top, Janine? Or you in the green? At the
Yeah,
bottom here?
including Schedule A.
The part
So
where
1,
we,
2, 3, fourth line down, middle. The spring
Addresses
town
the operating
meeting.
budget, including Schedule A, as well as capital budgets recommended by the Capital Improvement Committee.
I wouldn't know what including.
You're also, town meeting is voting on, other warrant articles.
Correct.
So it's kind of,
So could Schedule A be warned articles instead of in,
no, Schedule A is the budget.
It's all
Okay.
budget, it's all numbers.
all right.
so, okay, so should it say addresses the operating budget, which in parentheses, call it
Yeah,
Schedule A?
Boom.
Yeah, because both, you're saying the same thing.
Makes more sense.
Thank you.
As well as capital budgets. And then maybe after CIPC, and put like maybe comma, among other, including other warrant, something,
As well as capital budgets recommended by the Capital Improvement Committee,
And put addition-
other warrant articles?
yeah,
or additional.
as well as other warrant articles.
Yeah.
Because I think they have to have a sense that not only does the committee vote on budget and capital stuff, but also as, planning, articles, they make the recommendations on other things other than budget.
I know it's
Put it back into that calendar and the deadlines for that, so.
okay, that makes a little more sense. Might clean it up more. So anyway, this was this was sort of a rehash
Yeah.
of that was submitted by someone. I'm not sure it's any different.
It's just reworded.
It's just reworded, exactly. So, anyway. All right, so that is the majority of the handbook as it stands right now. I did say that we might have a little section on non-budgetary warrant articles, a sentence or two that says, we have to vote on those two because, whatever, it's in our bylaws. Just a sentence, that we're also responsible for transfers from the reserve fund. Once again, it's a sentence. These are some of the additional, and I'm not certain of what the expected content was for some of these. These are some of the things that Terry had added to her draft. And I didn't know if we wanted a paragraph about public statements by finance committee members. I see it in a lot of other handbooks. That's not because I directed it, because I looked at and saw it in some other things.
Other Dartmouth handbooks?
No.
Or other
Towns.
towns?
Now, what do they mean by public
They were
statement?
referencing that, and
What is that?
I know that there have been circumstances in our past here where you have to represent yourself as a single individual, that you, just because you're a finance committee member, if you say something, and I'm not talking about on stage at town meeting, I'm talking about in the general world, you have to be conscious that you're not representing all 9 members.
There's that statement that you always see you read. The above statement does not represent the fellow committees of the, however,
I think it goes to what Melissa said at that meeting in the summertime, when,
Well, because it was
if
used
you sign your name to a letter.
inadvertently in a couple of places.
Yeah.
Where people said an opinion and put finance committee, which is not that you're not a member of the finance committee, but it can look like you're representing the
Exactly.
finance
It can be-
committee.
It can be misconstrued.
Right, that,
As a
the
collective-
paragraphs you just
Right.
wrote about
Absolutely.
whatever.
Can you send out some of the other towns that are, this isn't a new issue for all towns. Maybe we can adopt or take a look at other towns' statements in that regard?
Well, that's what I
Because
was
that's a
doing,
key-
trust me, I wasn't
Oh.
writing this, I wasn't just writing this off the cuff.
All right.
I
But
looked
that is
at
a good one.
half a dozen other handbooks and saw what some people were putting into their handbooks now. And I thought, okay, it's been an issue. So sometimes you have to just, make people conscious that they can't just arbitrarily throw their title around.
It's a very good point.
I don't think attending another meeting and speaking up, I don't think there's anything wrong with, as long as for disclosure, I'm a member of the finance committee.
That's the statement.
This is my opinion only. I don't represent the finance committee in this matter. As long as they clarify it with a statement that, I think it's
No,
perfectly
that's-
fine to
that's
say
the
whatever
statement.
you want,
Right.
as long as you're making that.
Individual public statements by the finance committee must be clarified as not representing the finance committee in its totality.
I mean, that's okay when you're in a meeting, that you say something like that. And I've seen it from other members who attend other meetings, and they clarify themselves by saying, I'm not here as a whatever member, I'm here as a resident or
Right.
of Dartmouth, whatever, for whatever reason. But also, it has been used in op-ed pieces. So you have to be conscious if you're writing a
Right,
letter online,
Right.
exactly. It
that
should be-
you mention it as
Right.
your individual opinion.
It should be like a disclaimer saying that is my personal opinion and does not reflect, or may not reflect the, view-
Majority of the board.
But that's what,
Shouldn't
that
be
was
as
the
part of
intention of
The
that.
overall handbook for every single board member? Shouldn't everyone have that same
It's
qualifying statement?
probably
It's got, it should be in here somewhere, I would think.
I don't know, I didn't memorize that handbook.
No, I
I have
would-
167 documents.
It may be in this
But
one.
that's powerful, because that's almost illegal. I would think the town.
It's just I look at it as a gentle reminder to
Guidance,
people.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
all.
don't think it's illegal, it's just can be misleading.
It's
if you-
misleading.
It's
I would
if
say
you don't
misleading.
make that
It's
statement.
misleading.
It is misleading if.
I mean, I certainly don't want somebody making a big statement and they think that the whole finance committee
Yeah,
said it.
that's right.
Exactly.
I might not agree,
That's the
and that's fine, we don't all agree on everything.
So you put
You
a
know.
disclaimer in saying that this
Yeah,
is my.
but that was my intent there, and I'll put in a couple sentences that I'll probably steal from somebody else's
There
handbook.
should be
It's a
something.
very good point.
Yeah, I agree. Should be something there to clarify that.
And as I said, I'm not quite certain what the other content, the intention was of the other headlines that were here. Those were just a couple of areas I thought needed to be addressed as well.
Well, it's a good start.
Yeah, it's a start.
Chug it along.
Very good. And very helpful.
We will, I'm sure, be working on this again,
Sure.
and since it's not going to be, so we're at about 3 pages now.
160 to go.
I know. Phew.
Want to say that, you need, and I can email it to you. Or I can email it to you.
Well, thank you.
All right,
All right.
So, the next item on the agenda is liaison assignments. I've sent that out to the group. Now, this is obviously an older list, and the committee usually goes through this.
Can I
Every
give
year.
this back to you so you can display it?
Oh, yes, yeah.
'Cause
Now,
I can't.
keep in mind,
I don't
we
want to
have
be
3
poking
members of
around your laptop, Gary.
There's still 3 members of the committee that aren't here, so,
Right, I know.
oh, this is gonna be.
Well, then we can take a look at it and
Yeah.
see what we can or cannot decide tonight.
Because it's,
There's 4 members who aren't here.
if someone
yeah.
has,
Isn't it school committee meeting, you know,
What's that?
the next school committee?
Oh, yes.
They just had it on Monday, so it's typically 2 weeks. Weeks, I think, is coming up on Thanksgiving, so I'm not sure.
Really?
I'm not sure. to be
All
honest with
right.
you.
All right, I'll find out. I just thought you might know.
Actually,
All right, I'll figure it
okay, so,
out. I'll just check every week on the town.
December 8th.
December the 8th.
He served with him, he's a long, community activist, he served on the planning board with me for a number of years. Back in the 90s.
That's always at Bush Street, right?
So.
No, the high school.
That's the way they named a meeting room after him, this meeting room.
I love seeing the old photos.
All right.
Meeting. It's great.
The areas where you see question marks and yellowish highlights are, actually, I don't think the agricultural trust, we haven't had a person in that role in a while, because it was empty.
John, did you have?
Who was
you
it?
had ag trust? No,
No, that
Soil, were you
was
soil?
Sue, wasn't it?
Sue?
Who's
what's
Sue?
the- Am I thinking,
Paducci?
who's the,
Sue Gaducci? No,
Murray?
no, wait a minute.
Super Murray.
What am I-
Murray,
this?
on the finance committee?
How long
No.
ago was this?
Oh, no, she was on the CPC with me, I'm sorry.
We haven't had a Sue in
I
5
know.
years that I've been here.
Too many names, too many faces, John.
Yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
know, I wasn't on the ag, I was on the soils and the CPC, but I was never on the ag.
So,
Think of who was.
excuse my ignorance, Gary, but I honestly don't know anything about that role.
Neither do I. How often do they meet?
They don't meet as, I don't believe they meet as
they
much
meet
as they
that
used to meet. They have that fund that they had, and, they may be ramping up a little bit more because there may be some kind of,
Who is it?
who's on the committee?
Sue
Sue
Gaducci.
Gaducci.
Oh, okay.
Fred Dabney.
Okay.
I
Bruce
think
Brooks,
Fred is
Bruce
on it.
Brooks is on it.
Bruce Brooks is on
I
it?
believe so, yeah.
So it's like a
And,
5-member board?
Yeah, and I think also Buddy Baker Smith's on it.
On the
Makes
ag
sense.
commission?
It's
I believe so,
actually,
yeah.
by the selectmen, it's 9-member board,
I don't
3-year
think they have
term,
9
town
members.
clerk, according to our
I don't
handbook.
think they have 9 members
that I
though.
read.
The what?
What?
Oh,
The egg?
nine?
It tells you how many everybody is.
Well,
But we don't know a lot about how often they meet or, and that we're,
very,
a
very
finance committee person would be a voting member, because that's unusual.
Oh,
Yeah, let me see.
It it is unusual. But it's only one year list, oh, sorry, there's two. There's two that have voting. Oh, three.
Okay, here's the group. Oh, this has got to be old Frank Gracie.
Yeah. I don't think Frank's still on it.
Oh, Frank's crazy, come on.
Phil Lenz, Bruce, I know Bruce is on it, Sue's on it.
Well, Phil's not necessarily gone, he's just not on our
Yeah.
board anymore.
Oh, that's true.
Lori Ann Miller may still be on it, I'm not sure, I don't think this is an updated list on the
So-
town's website.
Okay.
Oh, this is the trust council. I'm thinking the ag commission is a 5-person board.
Oh.
But they don't even show their terms on there.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, no, they oh.
What is it?
1, 2, 3, 4, there we go.
Sue Gaducci.
That's the ag commission,
Eric-
though, not
No,
the,
this is the Ag Trust.
no, that's the ag commission.
He's right, it's Ag Commission.
Trust.
So that's two different commissions. There's the ag commission, then the ag trust commission.
Oh, and they're both right here, look at
Also
this.
preservation.
Well, I think before we go too far with this,
Now,
we
let's
need
get
to
a
have
little
some
bit more.
clarification
Yeah.
We have more detail on who they are,
2, so 8 and
Yeah.
2.
who's on the committee.
before we worry about who's going to take that role.
What's it say about it in here?
Terry's got the,
Terry, I know, is going to stay with the capital improvement.
Mm-hmm.
John, do you intend to stay with CPC?
Yeah, I mean,
Since you
it makes
just,
sense for me to be the liaison,
Yeah.
because I'm already appointed to that committee.
right. Council on Aging, Bill,
yep,
still? Okay.
absolutely.
So DPW is Brian and myself. The reason DPW is big, that's why it has two people. I'm more than happy to let someone else take it because I have enough. If someone else is interested in it, I'll just throw that out there for now. Because I also have the Board of Health and the library and the Select Board.
I could do DPW if you'd like. Depending on how the nomination and assignments get done.
About what?
Depending on how you nominate and assign, if you're looking for someone to take and assist with DPW, I could do that.
Just maybe a little bit of, what other communities do. Most communities that are, have the finance committee liaisons, the chair does not participate in liaison assignments because of the role of the chair being busy. But it's okay, I mean, that's okay, but in some communities, they don't, it's divvied up amongst the other members.
Right, that's fine. I was just trying to eliminate a couple of them. Well, we'll put you down temporarily. I haven't heard from Brian any, he's on a couple.
Which one?
DPW.
Okay, so we're gonna add,
Gene,
Yes.
just a suggestion. Since we don't have some members here, would it be better if we held off on this till the next meeting? Or would
Well-
you rather continue with it tonight?
I think we can solve some of it tonight, and then we'll continue it again. No
Okay.
doubt, because we're down 3 members.
Okay.
So the DPW meets on Thursday mornings, bright and early,
Right?
which, and I admit, I did go to the meetings in the beginning, because it's 7:30 in the morning. Gary was at the last one. But they're all recorded. So you're not participating, and they're Zoom, for the most part. Though they have met in person, but I say it's mostly Zoom.
Mostly Zoom, yeah.
It's mostly Zoom.
Where
I
are
have
those
been there
meetings?
in person, but,
they set up the link, so there's Zoom.
yeah, you can sit in on the Zoom if you want to, but
Yeah.
you don't participate for the most part. You can
Yeah,
just,
right.
you can sit in, or you can watch the recording after the fact.
Yep.
So, that's flexible in that respect, to get what's going on at the DPW.
Janine, you could put my name on the ag trust as interested, if
All
somebody
right,
else
Okay.
wants
well, as a placeholder, then.
it. Yeah,
Yep,
just, that there's something there.
until we discover what it actually is.
Well, it does it says what it is on the town's website.
Okay,
And in our book.
but I don't know anything about their meeting schedule. I've never really paid attention,
I don't think they
honestly.
meet that often,
No.
but.
Okay. So the Board of Health is an option for somebody as well, only because I don't want to give up the library, I have to admit. I've been going to the library meetings for 5 years.
Yeah.
I like them. And they're in person and they're not recorded. But if somebody's interested in the Board of Health, which is a lot of Zoom as well,
Yes, they're on Zoom.
Occasionally,
Conservation
when
is
they've
on
had a
Zoom.
hearing, they do meet in person. I did go to the last hearing they had here. But a lot of it is Zoom, if you're interested. Library, so Carrie, unless I hear differently, we'll keep her on Parks. So 2 big openings are Planning Board. We haven't had a person there for a few months because that board member has gone from here. Police also was previously held by the Finance Committee Chair, and he's gone.
I
So
can do both of those if you'd
planning
like.
and police. So that's 3, Deirdre, just
Oh.
keep that in mind.
So just tell me where you want me or
Well,
need me?
you can say temporary, because we still have a couple
Yeah.
other people that aren't here.
Why don't we
Put
hold
that in.
off until we get a full?
Sure.
Yeah.
If
but as
there's
I
any
said-
other interest, great.
But that
Put me
way,
where you
people
need me.
know what's available, that
Yeah.
some of us aren't giving up. I'm happy to give up health, I'm happy to give up DBW. Town charter, do they still meet? No, I don't know.
No.
So schools, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think Terry was more than willing to let it be taken over by Carrie and Nate.
And I'm gonna be on that as well.
Okay,
But
that's 3.
is that fine?
Do you go to the meetings?
I will.
Just asking.
I will.
Okay, so we're gonna remove Terry.
Yes.
I will go to the
Well,
meeting.
I'll let her confirm, but I'm pretty sure from a
Yeah,
conversation.
those meetings are obviously in person, that's,
Yeah, they're every 2 weeks according to Nate, right? Something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, it varies.
Yeah, it's
It
probably a couple
varies.
times a month usually.
typically a
I mean,
couple times a
I watch them,
month.
I don't go.
Yeah.
Is there a joint meeting of the school committee and the finance committee?
Usually it's 3 boards get together versus just finance and school.
Thank you.
So I'm fine being the liaison to the schools, but just being full disclosure, I'm gonna continue doing what I've been doing for the past year. So if anyone has an issue with me advocating at school committee meetings and being the liaison, I'm just putting that out there.
As long as you disclose.
I did on Monday.
Right, yeah, no problem with it.
Discloses. That's fine, we all have our opinions, Nate, and we're not, no one should feel restricted on their opinions. And, you know, you're not a member of the school committee, so public comment, what, you get 3 minutes?
Yeah,
So, you know, we could all go and talk for 3 minutes.
yeah. So I'm just
Yes,
letting you
that's
all
fine.
know.
Fine. I don't. As I said, everybody has opinions, which, school, select board, so I started going to select board meetings when the previous chair left, and I know Terry goes a lot of times, so that, in theory, there's 2 people there. I don't know if she wants to officially be a liaison or not. John, you're still on the soils?
Yeah, they haven't been meeting, and I'll keep my name there only because years ago I was on that committee when they met actively, so I've got experience there, but there hasn't been any meetings. At least I haven't been told, and I'm a voting
yeah,
member.
that hasn't been.
Can I ask, it's the soils,
It's,
Geo,
we had a number of gravel operations in town, so that committee oversaw that permitting process for
Permit.
gravel removal.
versus beach soil, geo testing of, so gravel, gotcha.
Yeah, to make the aquifer zones, the depth, how much soil can be trucked over the
Yeah, yeah,
roads.
Cool, thank you.
That's all. But anyway.
Thank you.
It's been inactive, but I have experience there, so just keep my name there. Well, so we have a name on every, so the people that weren't here,
Well, I haven't heard
they should
it.
have the opportunity to, if they're interested, to speak up, to say,
Yeah, of
hey, I'd
course.
like to be
Oh, yeah.
involved.
I had a question, and I wasn't intending on changing the others because I haven't heard anything from Brian, as an example. And I know Terry is not going to give up long-term capital planning. But on the waterways, and maybe you can clarify this, Gary, there were 2. So one was harbor and the other was, I don't know, waterways?
Waterways.
Okay,
So,
it's 2 different committees? So Bob was the second one.
Bob was on waterways?
Yeah, he was. But Brian is also on harbor side of it.
Oh, so we need one
The
more.
meeting, the Harbor Waterways Commission is an active board.
Yes.
The Harbor Commission was only to do that study, I think, and I think that's
That's done, right?
no
Yeah.
longer in
But I guess the
existence.
question is, do we need two members on the waterways? So
I
we
don't
do.
think, I don't
I
think we
don't-
need two members on the waterways, we just need one.
Yeah,
And
Brian
the
likes
question is, if Brian wants to stay and do that, or is it an opening for somebody else? So, that's a
Is-
question for next
Okay.
time.
Do waterways include, oh gosh, how do
Upon
I?
against it, upon against it?
Thank you. I barely can say some of the names
It's supposed to
here.
include all waterways within the town.
Yes,
In Town Beach? Around Hill Town Beach.
water.
Water.
Hey, water, so,
There were some changes in waterways just voted in 2018 or something in a new map. So I was just kind of, I thought I saw something. Anyway, I was just curious to see if it included the town beach as well.
is Jones's Beach as well?
Well, the beaches
Town beach is
themselves are
Parks
by
and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're talking about the
okay.
actual beach, is not, waterways.
Okay, so that's the
Waterways
difference.
is, like out in the water,
Okay,
like
thank you.
they've, moved a marker, or that type of thing.
They do, that's an enterprise fund too, right? Like it's.
Yes.
Yes.
Waterways.
For
Yeah.
the harbor, that one harbor, but,
General
waterways is supposed to be more than just the harbor.
It's got rivers and streams.
Brook Rivers, you've got some of the environmental issues.
Ponds.
Absolutely. Quite beautiful.
So Patrick,
Patrick, you have the email, I was just gonna say, do you have the email from Patrick? He expressed interest in 3 things.
let me see.
Put his name in right now, he's not
Oh,
here.
that's right, his name isn't up there at all, right?
Well, because he's fairly new.
Yeah.
And we haven't really looked at this list per se in a while. Obviously, we had to because of the changes in our committee.
Could I ask a question
Yes.
about liaison? So, one of the people that let me rephrase. If I wanted to introduce myself to a department head, when, in my old job, if you will, when I was working, you would get a call and say, I'm interested in meeting so-and-so. Can I call them? Is that all right with you? And so I would call and say, is it okay if I called the superintendent so that I could call and introduce myself to Mr. Kiley?
Yeah.
And I would not be a member of the finance committee, but I would like to introduce myself to him and. So I don't know if I have to ask permission or if I
No.
should ask, I would be reaching out
Why wouldn't you
to,
let Mr. Kiley know that you're a new member of the finance committee?
because I want to make sure that that would be okay to do.
Well, that's
Well, if you're acting as liaison, is, understood.
Not even as a liaison, if you wanna introduce yourself.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking about, you're talking about being a liaison, aren't you?
Actually, I would just really like, as a former assistant superintendent to assistant superintendent in MSBA and the roofs and all that stuff, just to say, hi, I've been in your seat for 20 years, I'm a new finance committee member, but I'm not your liaison, but I wanted to say hi.
You could do that.
Okay, okay.
That's America.
Oh, okay, I just wanted, I wanted to make sure I asked that question before I
Do I
started
need to
making a
put a
phone call.
rule in the handbook? Oh, my
I
God.
just wanted to make sure it was appropriate.
Under public statements, right.
As long as you don't go in there and announce
I
your,
just,
So Patrick had interest in the Library, Council on Aging, and Veterans.
I'm sorry, oh, at Veterans.
Library
okay,
Council on
right,
Aging
right.
and
I remember
Veterans.
looking at it and thinking all 3 of those spots had a person in them.
Yeah.
And
So maybe,
I already expressed my interest in staying with libraries.
so we'll keep this as a draft.
Correct.
Maybe Brian would want to give up Veterans,
Yeah,
seeing that he already has DPW, a bigger department.
right. And
Well,
I
why
don't,
not add
and
his
Bill
name
doesn't
in
want to
now,
give
so
up
at
council
least
on
we
Aging.
know he has interest, and,
and then
you know, when we all
choose.
meet, you know, we can hash it out again.
Yeah.
So I'll put Patrick in here.
Yeah, throw 'em in there.
Because if Brian knew he's interested in veterans, maybe Brian would step down and might want to change a role or step away from that role altogether.
Correct, that's why I didn't want to assume people might not want a role anymore,
Right.
which you can always change.
And as the new member, please put me where others, yeah.
So he wanted that, library.
And is there only one member on Capitol?
Yes.
And Council on Aging. Bill's had Council on Aging for a while too, so.
Correct.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I have a good rapport with her.
Yeah, no, like as I said,
And Angela.
no one's asking anybody to change. just sometimes you might want to switch.
Where's the, budget advisory?
Well, it's not a liaison position per se. I don't know. Is that something you think we need to have in
Why,
our?
why wouldn't we consider that a liaison, even though, because we're saying there's voting members up here.
Yeah, I mean, we could include it just so we have record of it.
Yeah,
I mean, it
we
doesn't
can add
really-
it. That's
It's
fine.
just to show
Yeah,
members
I
and
get
new
it.
members that
Yep.
a position exists.
it's not, I don't believe, it has yet to be determined how long that board will stay in existence. But you're right, that's fine. And Gary, you know who's on it, right?
Yes.
Could you refresh my memory, Gary, to who's on that, please?
You?
Me, who else?
No,
I don't know if it's you.
it's not.
I bet I was. You get behind my back.
It's me.
You put me on there.
It's myself and
Well-
Brian.
While I was away, John said.
Yeah, no, we didn't vote you in while you were away. It's Brian and myself. It's Brian, myself, from the select board, I believe it's Heidi
Chris
Brooks.
O'Neill,
Chris
yeah.
and
And Chris O'Neill, and I believe from the school committee, it's Chris Oliver and Beth.
Yep.
Yes. Not that that's relevant to this, but the others, just so everybody knows. Those are the, because the school committee just appointed them, right? Is that correct, Nate? You were probably at the meeting, right?
Yeah, I think it was the last meeting, previous to this past Monday.
Yeah, so the budget advisory group is new. It hasn't really moved forward in any way, other than getting people
Wanna add
appointed to
voting
it.
In parentheses to that budget
does
advisory
include,
group.
Select Board, Town Administrator, Finance Committee, School Committee.
Yeah, but it's relatively new, to have another group of assorted
Right, yeah, it's
individuals to take a closer look at the budget. It hasn't met yet.
No. So that is,
Did we leave anybody out that hasn't had any? So Brian's on here, Terry's on here,
You haven't
Patrick's on
spoke
here.
about youth commission yet, Janine.
But you're on it, right?
Yes, I am.
I'm sorry, did you
And
want to give it
also-
up?
Well, this is very interesting, which I will share with you. I haven't had the I can't say I have having the pleasure to be attending any of those meetings. My probably own fault, I haven't been paying attention to the town meeting schedule. So I'm gonna have to reintroduce myself to the individuals or the chairperson of that commission and see where they wanna meet. I spoke to her years ago when I first got on and she said, well, we meet, blah, 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 I'll let you know. I never got an email from her, so. That, we're still going through COVID and all that, so,
Yeah.
back in those days, so. And maybe that probably all changed now since we can meet in person, so I have to do some, reintroducing.
Yeah, the boards vary on how they communicate with the liaisons. The DPW, is, when you introduce yourself, is very good about, and the agenda's posted anyway, but they'll send you one if you want one. And their meetings are posted, so that's easy. Library's always very good to me. I get all their documents before their meetings. School committee, they send out their agenda ahead of time. Do you get those? School committee agendas?
I find them.
Well, they're posted online, but
Yeah.
she sends them to me. I can,
Oh, yeah, no, I
you
typically
can probably just
download
get
them.
them sent directly if you
Keep
want.
a pretty close eye on the town calendar.
No, I know. I'm just saying, so usually when they know who the liaisons are, they just send out whatever.
I'd be interested in planning board as well.
Okay. Well, they meet via Zoom.
Yeah. Typically listen
Yeah,
to
they
the
do.
meetings anyway.
Yeah,
Right, so you don't have to go so much as you can just listen to the recording after the
Right.
fact.
yeah, it's on TV.
yeah, so we'll leave this as draft. Obviously,
Yeah.
the other members maybe want to look at it and weigh in if they have interest in some of these.
Yep.
So we'll leave this as a draft. I'll include it on the next agenda, too.
Yes. And ideally, we'll have a new mix of members at the meeting, so we can hash it out again.
So, as mentioned, Cody couldn't make it tonight, so the items that we had on the agenda were grant update and economic development update. Also, we had spoke about legal, too, and what we wanted to look at that. At the next meeting, he will update the group on the grants, almost what Chris Vitale had done with the Board of Selectmen, He gave a pretty nice presentation. Also, he'll have stuff on the economic development and then on legal. The only thing on legal is, I know that there was an email that circulated through the group that asked questions on what, what questions we wanted to ask of the administration, but I think that we also have to be cognizant that some of the information we can't give out, as we mentioned in the past, some of it's still ongoing litigation that we don't want to subject the town at any risk. So I know one of them was the amount that we're spending on legal each year. I guess we want to fine tune that. Do we want to look at how much we're spending in general legal? Do we want to look at how much we're spending in, labor council? So that's something that we would have to know.
Could I ask, oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
And again, I know the school side of exactly what you're saying. We have a special education attorney. We have a labor attorney for teachers union. We have a labor attorney for AFSCME. We have three separate attorneys. Within the law firms, we might have specificity, special education in particular, Title IX, civil rights, all of those levels of specificity. The structure that at least we've been used to is a structure of approval through special education and then labor, obviously, when you're bargaining. Here on the town side, is it the same legal structure of
It works
level
almost to the same
specific-
thing, obviously, what the schools are doing. They have their own labor, they have their own legal counsel. So on our side, it's general, it's labor. It's also, right now, we have special counsel for Bliss Corner and 40B. So those two are most recent. So whenever the general counsel can't participate in any kind of legal matters, we get special counsel to
So when you say
work on that. And
general,
labor counsel too, we have labor.
when you say general counsel, is that a person, is that?
Yeah, so it's a firm, so.
It's a law
So
firm
Anthony
in-
Savastano is our town attorney. And from there, Anthony will determine who, if it's a labor issue, we have labor counsel, where those pieces fit. So everything goes through Anthony, so to speak, and then if there's special counsel, like for 40B, for instance, that's like the most recent, Anthony thought that it would be more advantageous for the town to get special counsel that deals just specifically with 40B. And, any other special counsel
And
the
in
town would need.
regards to labor, you've got police teamsters,
We've got,
many-
we've got about 5 unions, so we've got laborers, we've got steel workers, we have DTEA, which is the
steel workers.
steel workers, yes. We have Teamsters, and then we have the unions at the schools. DTEA is the Dartmouth Town Employee Association. So that's the town employees,
Thank you.
and police, and then police.
Thank you.
So for me, I think, I'll speak for myself, I'd like to see some categorized when it comes to legal counsel and the spending. What are the top categories? Certainly divide out, the specialties, the 40Bs, the Bliss Corner, but even under general counsel, if we could get some kind of category there, and then more importantly, what were the top 5 or 10
Costly.
costs the past year. So we get some kind of idea of what's going on. We don't have to disclose, I mean, it was for this, but we're not gonna dive into details, well, what happened, for example, I know we had 2 boards suing each other. Well, what does that cost the town? I like to be a little bit more transparent and know that, and I think the public should know that too.
Yeah, so that wasn't on the, obviously, that wasn't on the agenda if we were to speak on grants and economic development, but I think that the legal, we would need a little time to put that together, because we're gonna have to get that all broken out. But I would say for the next meeting, we still have grants and economic development, and then maybe we can take a shot at doing the legal. But right now, at least the grants and the economic development.
No, that's
at the
fair,
next
I
meeting.
understand.
Do you 30 bid it? Do you 30B bid it?
I'll-
I'm sorry. It's a-
Procurement on,
30B bid, legal professional services.
no.
Okay. Ken,
I went through the minutes from that meeting where we had the legal discussion. I did highlight some things, which I'll just rephrase it for you in an email, just so you know. But there was mention of litigation costs versus non-litigation costs. So that's one. I know there was a comment made that towns the size of Dartmouth don't usually hire in-house attorneys, which I understand. But it was interesting, the comment that actually was made was all options will be reviewed.
Oh, what, I'm sorry?
Options for counsel, in-house or not, will be reviewed. Is that actually an active project? You don't have to answer. But it's a, you know, a question that was asked. Someone asked about legal project billings. Now, I realize this is much more time-consuming, but I guess it might have something to do with how John asked, but, you know, breaking down the legal costs, in this case, it was for the charter review process. That question was raised. How much was spent?
Does your chart of accounts break it out when you do your chart?
Oh, yeah, we have, so we
We got
can
legal
run things,
fees.
we can run items by vendor. So when we run them by vendor, we know who the attorney, and that specific attorney is working on specific cases. So for instance, like 40B is one specific law firm. We'd be able to run all those for that specific law firm and tell the committee how much.
A 5-10-year
Oh, yeah.
expense history by 3-year
Obviously, some of
chart
those
by
law firms
vendor.
we haven't done business with those law firms, and
Right.
so that'll be newer charges that you'll see. But if we did the last 5 years, you'll see them coming on like in the last 2 years, and then you'll see all of general counsel for the last 5
You'll
years.
see your 3-year cycles for your labor.
Yes,
So if you
yeah,
did it over 10, you're gonna go boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, like that.
yeah.
Oh, I had another question, I'm so sorry.
It's-
I forgot it, thank you.
Legal requests per department?
Per department. Yeah, something like that would take a little bit more for council to put together, because we would have to get more reporting from him, and how it breaks out on the
By-
billing.
Yeah, even by a percentage maybe versus the dollar, if that makes it easier. That's just my personal thought, because, you know, whatever. So there was a comment made in the meeting how,
Is
you
there
know,
a
might be,
approval process?
Yes, yes.
you know, there might just be one request from conservation, whereas planning might have a lot more, you know what I'm saying? You know, so versus dollar, like percentage maybe, if that makes sense.
So if you want to summarize those, and I think that.
Yeah, I will.
We'll have at least a good
plucking
base
them out
of
of
where
my
we should,
notes right now.
what the committee's looking for.
Okay.
And then, like I said, we'll try to shoot for the next meeting, but something like this is a little more detailed. We might have to have a separate, not a separate meeting for that, but included in
No,
the
that's fine.
following meeting.
Understood. So in the next meeting, you want to do grants and
Grants and economic development.
So I did send the presentation that was given to the select board in July out to everybody, so you could see it. Gary, you probably got the feedback about that presentation from one of the FinCom members?
Not sure, when was that?
A day ago.
There you go, I'll have to go back and, via email? I'll have to go back and look.
That's all right, I can resend it. But if somebody else has thoughts on that presentation that was given, that you might want some additional information or something different, look at it.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Okay.
I think the request was to have it a little more frequently.
Well, it wasn't freak, it was content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily, I know Cody made a comment about how they were planning to do the grants, I guess, maybe every 6 months, so it's done in July, they're probably gonna redo it in January. I mean, and please, correct me if I'm wrong, how often do you need to hear a grants update?
And you also have to keep
If
in
the
mind.
town is on a 6-month cycle, is that
The town is
okay?
applying for these grants on a fiscal year basis, some a calendar year basis, so 6 months, I think, is a good target date, because you'll get more information than if you get,
Right,
we're talking about the same thing every 3 months, it doesn't really.
we don't need it every month or.
I only wanted to know their success rate, that was my biggest
Right, but it'd be
concern.
I think it'd be nice, because that presentation was nice. I thought that presentation was well done, because I was there when he gave it at the select board. It was a good presentation. You know, I guess I could nitpick into something I might want to see, but I didn't look at it that closely, honestly. I thought it was good content. But I could see where it might not change dramatically, except maybe every 6 months. But it'd be good if the finance committee was included in that cycle. you know, I'm sure everybody here is not adhered to watching the select board meetings when they get an update.
Yeah, we can look at, maybe a, you know, start off a review of the presentation for those members that didn't see it, and then see what we can produce going forward for updates.
Well, I don't think anybody saw it except myself and
Yeah,
Terry,
right, yeah.
because we were at the select board meeting.
Yeah, it was a
Unless
pretty
y'all
good
watched the meeting,
presentation. Yeah.
then you saw it. But that's fine. And if he has anything new to add to that, that'd be good. But yes, definitely going forward, please, you know, consider us a separate entity. And then, I don't know, he had a general economic development update that he was going to
Yes.
give, that's fine.
Yep.
All right,
So that would be it for,
so that's next
what we
time.
plan on for the next meeting.
Okay. Liaison reports. Nate?
I just became the liaison tonight, it sounds like. But I was at the school committee meeting, trying to think. Didn't take notes, because it actually didn't say for the whole thing, but I did watch it on YouTube. What came, well, a couple of new things they did, so at town meeting, we voted on the $250,000 feasibility study. The MSBA did approve the Dartmouth to be in that program, so
Good.
that'll kick off that process, so they're working through that. They did mention again at the Monday's meeting that they'd be submitting a statement of interest for a new school early next year, I believe.
Did they narrow down the school?
No, not yet, no.
Okay, just
A lot of
school.
that will be dictated by the MSBA
Okay,
in terms of what they would be willing to fund, so
yeah,
that's all I can.
okay.
They did do a presentation updating on the progress towards the strategic plan. It's a pretty good presentation, just sort of highlighting, they're gonna do it periodically, like the steps that they have in process, the steps that they've completed, or the steps that they are yet to start. So it was a good overall meeting.
Good.
That's all I got.
Bill, anything?
Nothing from Council on Aging, I'll be going to the next meeting. They're excited about the kitchen renovations and,
They should be.
yeah.
Took a while.
Yeah, well, I think, frankly, I thought I didn't think we'd be voted upon in the fall meeting. I thought because the preparation, the planning, we may be extended out to the spring. And the last meeting, which I was at with them, I said, we want to make sure this is done properly and the estimates are accurate. You know, as far as, we don't want to, say, they put in, say, 400,000, I just ran a number, and say it comes back like 450,000, you know. At the end, I try to say that we should be as accurate as we possibly can and make sure we're dotting the i's and crossing the t's. And, you know, Chris Vitale worked on that, and everybody was involved in that, and Cody, so hopefully it will be in line with what they estimated the cost will be. Of course, they're unearthing things that's an old kitchen. I know when I've had stuff done around my house and contractors said this and unfortunately they ran into that. So we don't know. I mean, I also asked, cause I was a project manager for IT. And I said, I always put in, you know, you probably done it yourself, you put in like a fudge factor or, you know.
Contingencies.
Correct, to mitigate risk, you add so much as a buffer. And they couldn't come back with me what they actually added as a buffer, so that was my concern.
Who, I'm sorry.
Yeah, please.
So when I first came to Dartmouth, I went to a few meetings, and I was very excited about the project, and I would walk the site, and I was thoroughly involved in looking at the planning documents. I went kayaking, too, with the seniors out at the Westport River, which was kind of fun. That kitchen puts out meals.
It does.
It's just extraordinary what the center does for the community.
No, they do a lot in the kitchen they have.
And watching the meeting and hearing about the success of the warrant article and knowing that there are building plans for the rest of the site and building, wanting to make sure that that 400,000 in that construction does not interfere with the rest of the planning for construction or expansion. And, you know, who monitors, clerks that job with those kinds of things?
Oh, Dina, that should be up to, frankly, the project manager tying into the construction.
Dartmouth employee?
Well, first of all, the project manager should be part of the construction team.
Yeah, it's part of the
Secondly, they
whole package.
should- Correctly, and they should be interfacing with department heads.
Okay,
That's what they should be doing, in theory.
Yeah.
So that's the way project manager works.
so I'd love to be
Should
part of
be.
that if you need any help there.
All right.
John, did you have anything?
No, CPC meets, next week.
Gary, I'm going to put you on the spot because, well, I did watch the DPW meeting. I know you were at it. And you can just talk a little bit about the water increase
So,
cost.
as you know, at town meeting, we had to have a warrant article to address some shortage in the, the operations for the water department. So, but what Cody and I are doing right now is we're trying to get an analysis together. We're gonna meet with the board again to try to determine potentially a mid-year rate increase. Most likely, we're gonna need a mid-year rate increase to get us through. And it's namely because of the amount of money that we're spending on New Bedford water to supplement the wells that are down here in town. So we're working on that now. We'll be meeting in the next week or two with the DPW to present that. But we definitely will need something to carry us through fiscal '26.
There were 13 wells and 3 are down right now?
Not sure on the number of wells, but I know that there were 3, and there's one, believe, coming up soon, Pinelli Wells.
Yeah.
The operations on Old Westport Road, which we used opera money to fund, is coming back online. So the hope is that the tail end of fiscal '26, we're relying less on New Bedford water.
Gotcha.
And so we'll probably get back to some normalcy in FY '27 when we build that budget. But '26, because of those wells being down, were crucial that we had to pump extra water, additional amounts of water from the city.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So we're working on that now. So once we update that, we'll be updating the board, DPW, and then the liaison, if we're watching, can fill the committee in, and both Cody and I will also fill the finance committee on
Wonderful.
what's gonna happen with that.
We don't have any minutes for approval, right?
No minutes because it was town meeting.
Okay. When should we meet again?
Just before we go,
Sure.
there's a few things that I want to mention. So effective 1/1/26, we will start utilizing what's called OneDrive. So I'll be putting all the information into this OneDrive.
Okay.
Everyone will have access to it, so we can eliminate the amount of paper that we're using. We can share documents.
Beautiful.
And it'll all be housed in one particular folder. So I'm gonna work with the IT director to get everyone set up with that. And you'll access that through email. As you also know, that we're changing the email addresses to town, so that's a big endeavor that our IT director's working on.
That's huge.
We're flipping the
Congratulations
switch.
on that.
Yeah,
That's huge.
we've got a grant from the state, so we're flipping the switch next week. So it's been quite an undertaking, because you don't realize how many places that email sits, both in the financials, I mean, it's everywhere.
Entire website,
Yeah, it's everywhere.
That's a lot.
So,
letterhead.
also, we did post on our website, if you've seen the MMA Perfect Storm document they did. I think it was well-written. I think there's a lot
Was
of
well-written.
factual information in here. And I think it really goes along with what we produce every year for the Finance Committee's letter, informing them of a lot of this information. And a lot of this information is coming from the Division of Local Services, but it's really in-depth, and if you haven't read it, I mean, it's a few pages, but we included it on the town's website for the public to read. Also, coming up in the next meeting, we'll have 2 reserve fund transfers for unanticipated items. One is the elevator in the building. The elevator in this building is obviously probably as old as the building, if not the same age. And then also, you might have heard me speak on this in the past, on the cleanup that we had to do on the location behind the Moby Dick facility with an encampment that was there. And instead of not using town resources, because there are some items out there that can't be removed by town employees, it would be too dangerous. So we've got some quotes for a company to come in and clean that. Those folks have been moved off that site and no longer are there. So we need to, that is town property. We have to maintain that, even though it's in the woods. We should be maintaining that. So we have quotes with numbers next week's meeting, or whenever we meet next. We plan on putting those on for reserve fund transfer.
What happened to those people that they moved?
I believe they are in in facilities, you know, housing. They were, I believe I can give you more
I was
determination
just
on that.
curious.
And that's a lot of efforts for the Council on Aging that work with them.
Yeah,
You know,
no, I know
it
they
was-
went
it was-
around town because they did a count, obviously.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know there's various parts of town that are known for their encampments.
Yes.
Yeah, they go right in the woods and.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So when they're on town property and there's items that are there that need to be cleaned, it'd be too dangerous for the
Right. That
employees to do
was
that.
it spring town meeting we had that discussion? It was
Yes,
spring. I know there
yes,
was a big,
yes.
yeah, okay.
So,
Has
that
it-
is,
Has it already been cleaned, or
No.
we're waiting for the transfer?
No, it sounds like he's got to get
we have to,
quotes.
well, we got the quotes right now, we're getting prices right now, but, we won't begin until we bring it in front of the committee. Same thing with the elevator. I mean, so if it's next week, we really need the elevator because the elevator is,
Well,
Is
obviously.
that your only
yeah,
ADA access?
I mean, it's opening when
Yeah.
no one's here. I mean, it needs to be redone, hasn't been looked at in a while, so, we'll have those, I think we should meet next week,
Okay, that's what I was
just so
going to
that we
ask.
can
So is that the 20th?
address these before
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
it's the 20th.
Yeah, okay.
11:20 is the next meeting, okay.
All right, so 11:20, and you're going to have reserve fund.
Yeah, we'll have the 2 reserve fund transfers, we'll have the town administrator's update for grants and economic development, and
Oh, we should have the handbook again.
the handbook, yes, and liaison assignments, those are draft.
Right.
Okay,
So that the other
Okay,
members can
that's plenty,
look
that's a
at it.
lot.
And that is all I have.
okay, good.
Anybody have any thoughts before we wrap it up?
Just that I really enjoyed Dartmouth Day at the New Bedford Greater Regional Vocational Technical School on November 5th. It was really a wonderful opportunity. I'm from the North Shore, where our VOC was 11-member communities. It was very, very large. So to see such a wonderful school, 3-member towns. We got a tour, we got breakfast, and Jean was
I'm
there.
Janine.
I know, so sorry. I was trying to remember, and I introduced myself to everybody for the first time, so it was a lovely day. They did a nice job with Dartmouth Day signs. Everywhere you walked, you saw green and the big D for Dartmouth, so it was a wonderful
They treated us
opportunity.
like royalty, yes, they did.
I didn't
He
get
was-
a
yes,
breakfast when I got a tour. Wait a minute,
Yeah, you and I went.
Well, he looked at the guest list this year and said, good, John's not there, so we'll give breakfast to everyone.
It's an unbelievable
Yeah.
school to keep and clean.
Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second by me.
Second, there you go. We're done.
Good.